Hello again, and welcome to the concluding module in my course, Master Your Mind. Far from this being the end, I trust this is where you really begin your journey to a brilliant new future. If people were taught that consciousness is spiritually founded in life, and not matter or material possessions, their views about politics, sociology, human rights, and all other of their endeavours would change. Our bodies are amazing. They absolutely thrive when we eat nutritious foods free from chemicals, additives, pesticides and herbicides. On the contrary, if our body is nutrient deficient or polluted with toxins, cell death, immunodeficiency, physical and mental illness are most likely. Our minds are amazing also. Our subconscious minds thrive on spiritually wholesome values free from propaganda, falsities, mysticisms and bogus ideologies. Of course, if we fail that nourishment, anxiety, stress, mental torment and even illness will most certainly result. Fortunately, we need suffer no longer. Past ignorance has been replaced by the truth of our nature. Tranquility, joy, peace, and power may now flood into our lives as never before. I trust that you now see your potential and how you can prosper from choosing values in line with your subconscious mind. Put these principles on automatic by practicing them, and you will never look back. Many people are now realizing that our societies do not serve our true nature. So-called human rights do nothing but control the populace by permissions, and not rights at all. We are mentally indoctrinated and physically ruled, and there is no relief. That is the penalty we pay for ignoring what consciousness truly is. It should now be clear that some 95% of full consciousness has never been properly discovered. We have been largely deprived of knowing what our full mental abilities truly are. No one correlates consciousness with the known importance of our digestive process, nutrients in particular. Consequently, the mental upholding of life is dismissed entirely. Spiritual life values are dismissed in favour of material values, if indeed they are considered at all. Mysticism thrives on conscious ignorance. Enormous suffering results from our free will choices having no spiritual benchmark and no spiritual foundation therefore. Accordingly, no connection is made between our biology and our mental processes, yet they are strikingly similar. No surprise, since all of our faculties come from the one Creator. Microscopes and test tubes provide all that science requires. Consequently, neuroscience finds no need to distinguish the cognitive mind from its subconscious counterpart, whereby no communication between our two minds is ever considered. Subconscious mind is considered out of reach, so we never learn how infants begin learning without words, science, or math. Without those connections, consciousness is thought to relate to physicality and our awareness of it. Subconscious mind is thereby divorced, ignorantly or purposefully. It follows that when 95% of the conscious process is dismissed, consciousness cannot be anything but cognitive awareness. Our abilities are thereby arrested. Science fails to see that the conscious mind is sequentially sandwiched between two subconscious processes. No communication is observed. No value transfer is witnessed. Hence nothing is seen to unite our higher faculties. Thus 3 out of the 9 are not even recognised. Psychoepistemology is never discovered. Consequently, we are taught nothing about the vital role of life values. Let me summarise how this course radically overturns conscious ignorance. There are 6 principal elements. First is the lesson taught by infants and children. Second are life values, which are subsets of life as the supreme value. Third are feelings, this being Creator's gift of an automated mentoring system. Fourth comes free will and the law of no trespass. Fifth is the fullness of consciousness in place of awareness. And sixth comes natural law, being the orderly governance of behavioural consequences. I will go through each of these in turn to build the big picture. The lesson taught by infants and children is utterly profound. Three matters stand vividly clear. First, infant children teach us how to partner with our subconscious mind. Because no database of knowledge yet exists, so the cognitive mind must be bypassed, and this facilitates our mental development from scratch. Second, infants show us that the vocabulary of the subconscious mind is images. Imagination allows us to project the future and indulge our creativity, but most importantly, it greatly assists in uploading values to our subconscious mind. Third, we learn of the gradual shift from subconscious promptings to mastering our values. At least we should have learned that. Said differently, our two minds switch places in operational terms as we progress through childhood and adolescence to become adults. That mind switch cannot be overemphasized. Failure to learn this lesson amounts to abusing the law of allowance. Mental suffering results. Then, in all ignorance, we blame emotions for ruling our lives and causing all kinds of mental trauma. Best news is that we learned how to master our mind as an infant. The great tragedy in all history is that no one teaches how our two minds change places, which is crucial to us mastering our minds as adults. No one describes the vital importance of life values from a life journey perspective. None are taught, much less spoken of as a vital matter concerning consciousness. We've not understood that diligence, fortitude, and respect, for example, are spiritual fuel that our subconscious mind thrives on, minute by minute, day by day. Yet life values are a prime necessity. Subconscious mind cannot uphold your life without values, any more than your digestive process can function without nutrients. When denied those values, the subconscious will rummage among your past endeavours and cling to whatever values they represent, either because you chose them or because you did not reject them. One way or the other, most all mental sufferance results from accepting discordant values. Spiritual values fuel the automated programs that power 95% of our lives and our emotions. Feelings constantly remind us of these values. Hence there is no need to remember them by rote, as for the alphabet or times table. Life values direct your mind on its journey toward your goals. They speak of your will to succeed and to convince your subconscious mind that you are committed to living fruitfully, abundantly, and joyfully, exactly what your subconscious mind is devoted to. Our nature obliges us to choose values that uphold our life. Infants teach how these can be put on autopilot. Thereafter, values are communicated between our conscious and subconscious minds, just as our cardiovascular system transfers bodily nutrients. Full benefit comes from the subconscious mind knowing that we are committed to a meaningful spiritual life. The secret to triumphant success is now yours to keep and to practice. 9/10 of what constitutes your goals are performed automatically with blistering speed and precision. Your mental workload is smashed, while peaceful harmony and joyful satisfaction excels. Memory, instinct, intuition, and imagination are gifts that aid your ability to make ethical choices. Let's talk more about feelings. Subconscious mind recognizes the relationship between our material goals, our values, our commitment to achieve both, and our perceived progress along the way. It offers an abstracted summary of our success or failure, and thus we are informed whether our objectives and our values are supported or challenged, and to what degree. When life values underwrite your cognitive process and match those which exist in your subconscious mind, harmony prevails through the sequence of repeating cycles. Conflict is removed, mental efficiency improves, emotional joy and happiness follow. By choosing our values, we choose our emotions. But if we leave our values to chance, or permit other people to seed their values into our subconscious mind, we haven't the slightest idea what our feelings are actually reporting. The remedy is to master our mind by choosing life-upholding values and upload them to the subconscious mind. Frequencies are then in harmony, and so we feel positive emotions. Conversely, discordant frequencies produce what we call negative emotions, which point us to conflicting values. By choosing and uploading our values, we can very easily reverse engineer our feelings, simply by asking, which one of my life values upholds the feeling? Should that value be affirmed or altered? Or should I act differently in future? Changing our values or changing our behaviours allows us to grow mentally, emotionally and spiritually. Our feelings report on the values we hold, and so we win or lose according to what we accept to be truthfully valid. Free will is not a simple yes-no switch. The key factor is will, meaning a deliberate commitment to life, which infers purposeful value choices and not leaving matters to chance. More than mere choice, will and commitment is a passionate zest for life expressed through correspondent values. Success, joy, and happiness comes from joining with our subconscious mind on the same page. When it recognizes our passion to prosper and thrive, synergy develops. When our values run automatically, the result is greater than the sum of the parts. Although we can direct our subconscious mind, we can never violate its process. If so, its life-sustaining ability would be raided or robbed, and our life would suffer as a result. This natural law of no trespass informs us that no individual may violate the life of another. When we consider our two minds as being the mental equivalent of our heart and lungs, it becomes clear that our subconscious mind upholds our life just like our heart. Like our digestive process, we can change the content of our subconscious mind, but not change how it works. Consciousness is fully objective. Specifically, subconscious mind exists to uphold your life, but is bombarded by external influences and energies. Free will presents a simple choice. Either we accept whatever bombards our minds and suffer the consequences, or we willfully master our minds and prosper accordingly. Altogether, consciousness is a communication tool that interfaces and connects physicality with our spiritual life force. In this new appraisal of our conscious process, we each have 9 higher faculties in play, not 6 as we are taught. But that's not all. The belief that all is one, inverted commas, affectionately known as unity consciousness, is now questioned. Unity consciousness refers to one great, infinite, unending consciousness that is the true prime creator of all, the source of all things. There is another definition, however. Observably, we can be conscious of several things at the same time. Because each relate to one another in various ways, all are said to be constituents of a single conscious state. This phenomenon has been called the unity of consciousness since at least the time of Immanuel Kant in the 1700s. But that, as you now know, upholds the theory that consciousness is purely awareness. The notion of panpsychism adds even more confusion. Panpsychism is the doctrine or belief that everything material, however small, has an element of individual consciousness. In other words, matter itself has consciousness. Do you see the source of common ignorance? Science omits the supremacy of life from all discussion. Confusion reigns, if not disagreement, when awareness, unity consciousness, and panpsychism are put in the same basket. Science has no choice but to say that understanding consciousness is a matter of ongoing debate. But no longer. All of those unanswerable matters vanish with what you have learned in this course. Science and education are challenged to wake up, because now all of our higher faculties testify intimate connectedness, all centered on life as the supreme value, not physical matter. 6 of our faculties share the same lightning speed faculty of integration. Our conscious abilities are almost beyond comprehension. Full consciousness unites every instrument of our being in an unsurpassed orchestral masterpiece of creation. Consciousness is the operating system of your life. To that, and for your assistance, add 20 natural laws that govern the behavioural consequences of our thoughts and activities, but never prescribe anything, else we've no free will. They split into 4 groups under the headings of being, nature, integrity, and responsibility. These laws are dealt with in my next video course, but you'll see that many correspond with prime spiritual values. Of course, you'll have chosen your values by now. You have already, haven't you? Each law relates to its diagonal opposite, and that demonstrates our integrity and wholesome nature. This correspondence invokes full responsibility for ourselves, but that's only the half of it. See how number 3, independence, points to number 13, efficacy. Number 6, individual rights, leads to number 16, enterprise. Respect at number 10 is the foundation of natural justice at number 20. The discipline of natural law is encrypted in our nature and cannot be erased. This diagram includes all the matters I've discussed in this course. Considering the 6 matters that I've just summarised, your life is exactly what you are. Who you are is what you do with your life. Program your subconscious mind with values and you will succeed. Success cannot be overemphasized. If you've not begun yet, start with a simple task, such as having your subconscious mind replace your alarm clock. Visualize preparing to be awakened by imagining the best sleep you've ever had. Visualize being awakened by imagining a clock face pointing to that time, not alarm bells or morning news on the bedside radio. Visualize the benefits of awakening refreshed, feeling fully alive, looking forward to enjoying all that the day offers. Prove you can program your subconscious mind in this way, just like you did as an infant. Then choose another task or value. Chalk up some simple successes in mastering your mind and you will never turn back. Then you will discover your sovereignty. Sovereignty begins with individual freedom and fully embraces respect for others. The full conscious process transforms into ethics and morality, as properly it should. Commitment to action engages the moral process of protection and natural justice. Natural law governs behavioural consequences, but never prescribes them. Freedom begins the process and continues it repeatedly. Sovereignty is little more than an ethical mind engaging moral actions. It is to apply life values such as diligence, discipline, respect, and integrity, all in pursuit of practical, moral, and spiritual thriving. Mastery of one's conscious process through spiritual dedication is sovereignty of one's soul. Sovereign people accept full responsibility and liability for their actions. Skills of personal excellence, spiritual accomplishment, and emotional rewards testify their advancement. Joy and happiness are their rewards. Perfection is not demanded, rather an exemplary attitude toward life, a spiritual mindedness resulting in ethical thought, just actions and behaviour, including a decisive willingness to correct errors. Because sovereignty is not automatic, its status cannot be claimed by default. We each must enact natural laws and life values in our thoughts and actions, and grant all others the right to do likewise. Sovereignty cannot be granted by others, since until it is self-actualized, it does not actually exist. A truly sovereign mind strives to learn what is true and real, and to live in alignment with those discoveries. Every mental and emotional reward signifies success. Self-mastery consists of reflecting on one's own experience to understand what can be improved and how proficiency can be further developed. Sovereign people go beyond simple emotional resonance and blind faith. They seek truth. They ask hard questions so as to support their goals with key knowledge and understanding. So they gain increasing competence and satisfaction through work, self-reflection, and self-discipline. They learn to develop their personal powers so as to cultivate happiness, inner peace, humility, and graceful strength. Self-mastery is sovereignty of oneself by oneself. Unless that process is engaged and upheld, no sovereignty will emerge. Are you beginning to see the alternative to government rule over our lives? That alternative is society as symbiosis. Symbiosis means interaction between two different organisms living in close physical association, typically to the advantage of both. Guess what? That is exactly what your full conscious process is. It is an orchestrated masterpiece of creation, your two different minds working synergistically to the advantage of both. Symbiotic society describes a convivial society of independent flesh and blood men and women living in close physical association. Respectful and responsible interaction is typically to the mutual advantage of all respective participants. No ruling body exists to bow to. Every man and woman is independent, each acting according to their free will, fully respecting the mutual rights of others as natural law. Sovereign people who awaken to these truths will break through opinions, beliefs, and complacency. Veils of ignorance will fall as though they never existed. As fully connected beings, they will experience a vital energy of spirit and become sovereign facilitators of a new age. Please put these course suggestions into practice and prove their benefits for yourself. What I really mean is feel the benefits. Feel the benefits. I cannot do that for you. Suffice to say, the more you master your mind, the more uplifted you will feel. I strongly suggest that you revisit some or all of these videos after a month or two. Having put my suggestion into practice, you will better understand my explanations and diagrams. Everything will become clearer. Thank you for taking this course and for your commitment to each module. I look forward to meeting again in my next course, where I will describe other important matters that derive from full consciousness. The more you discover the benefits of mastering your mind, the more readily you'll see how natural law displaces statute law in free, organic societies. Thank you once again. Goodbye.